autistic meltdown is. So a autistic meltdown is when someone with autism gets overwhelmed either by emotional things or by the world around them or because of sensory issues, or there's like a lot of things that can cause it. But what happens during a meltdown is the autistic person doesn't know how to regulate themselves or soothe themselves, so they lose control trying to soothe themselves, and sometimes they will hit themselves or bang their head or scream and yell and cry and start screaming and yelling whatever comes to their mind without really thinking about what they're saying, because they're just trying to like self-regulate, but they can't self-regulate, so it doesn't work. And it can last anywhere from like 5 minutes to like 3 hours. It really depends on the person. But it happens because the way that autistic people like think is different than normal people, and it's a lot harder to, like, at least for me, it's a lot harder to like really process things when there's a lot going on. Normally when my meltdowns happen, it's either because something is happening that's like causing a lot of emotions, or it's because of like a sensory issue, like if I don't like the feeling of something, or if I'm in a really crowded place, I might have a meltdown because it's too overwhelming. It always happens when people are overwhelmed. But it's not a tantrum, it's not for attention, it is completely different than a tantrum, because autistic people can't control it when they have meltdowns. And oftentimes they feel bad about it afterwards. Like, I always feel bad about mine after I have a meltdown. But yeah, and an example of one that I had was a couple weeks ago, my phone wouldn't let me go on the thing for a doctor's appointment, the video call thing on Doxy. It wouldn't work. So I called my mom and I was crying and screaming and yelling about how I hate my phone and everything, even though I don't hate my phone and it's fine. But I still did that because when I'm in a meltdown, I'm very impulsive and I just say whatever comes to my mind first, without thinking about it. So mom calmed me down, and then the doctor called me normally and it was okay. But at that time I was overwhelmed and I was worried, and my schedule for that day was messed up because I didn't know how I was going to go on a doctor's appointment. I also have meltdowns when there's surprises, like a surprise that I didn't know what was happening. So for example, I went to go see Imagine Dragons a couple months ago, and mom told me a week in advance so that I've had enough time to process it, because if something like that happens and I don't know about it until the last second, I have a meltdown because it wasn't in my plans and I can't comprehend that that's what's happening. Even if it's a good surprise or if I'm really happy about it, I'll still have a meltdown. I've also had meltdowns about Beast a lot, like anytime Beast gets hurt or if he's like upset or whatever, I have meltdowns about him. It really just depends. But if you have a kid that's autistic, you should not record them in a meltdown and post it on the internet. That annoys me. There are parents who do that, and it annoys me because it's not the child's fault. And they should be giving help to the person that's having a meltdown, not recording them and making fun of them. That's something that really annoys me. But yeah, so that's kind of what a meltdown is. It's just an autistic person being very, very overwhelmed and not knowing how to soothe themselves or how to self-regulate. And they kind of just freak out and cry and scream and yell and hit themselves until they like regain control and calm down. Because sometimes there's just too many emotions or whatever, and we don't know how to like release them in a healthy way, I guess. And I'm hoping that when I get a behavioral therapist that I will learn some tactics to prevent meltdowns, because that would be fun, because they interfere with my life a lot. Because I have like 3 to 5 meltdowns a week if nothing weird happens or surprising happens. Lately, they've all been about my autism diagnosis and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's kind of what a meltdown is and why people have them. Please like and subscribe.